How's it going, guys? And welcome to the first episode of the All Ears Podcast. Ordinary clients, incredible insights. So there's over 1 million podcasts out there. Why did I feel the need to create a new one? Well, back in 2015, myself and two business partners started our own company. And through this journey of starting our own company, we've been from, Seattle to Miami and, even Africa, filming for different people. And the best part of this entire journey has been working with amazing clients, right? And so whether I'm in a meeting or on a phone call or, just talking to someone after a shoot, I'm all ears all the time because they have so much lifelong wisdom to share. And I'm not just talking about business advice. I'm talking about things that I can do in my day-to-day life to be more successful and to reach my full potential. So what I wanted to do with this podcast was to create an avenue or create a way to share these insights with you all. So our plan is to get my entire client Rolodex, reach out to them, have them sit down like I'm sitting here and have interviews with them and talk about the insights that they've given me, but also some of the things that they did to get to where they are, right? So these may be ordinary people in terms of they're not celebrities and things of that nature, but they have incredible insights that I've used throughout my entire life. So that's the game plan, all right? So what we're going to do on this first episode, I don't have any clients here, as you can see if you're watching the podcast, but I wanted to share some insights from starting my own company in 2015. So last week, I did a panel with the North Texas Business Council of the Art and the Denim Black Film Festival, and we were talking about how corporate America and big corporate businesses can work better with minority entrepreneurs and minority creatives. So we had a long list of questions, and I thought, hey, this would be a great opportunity to go over some of these questions because I think they can provide some great, incredible insights. All right. So the first thing is, how did we start on Motion Arts back in 2015? And, how did we get clients and, how did we increase our revenue? So how did we start our company? I was actually doing freelance video work as a solopreneur before I got with my two business partners. And I reached out to a gentleman who was an alum of the university I went to. And I was like, he was a marketing professional at the time. And I was like, hey, man, how can we get more clients? How can we grow? Everybody's always talking about growth and, just reaching their full potential. And he was like, I think the first thing you want to do is start a business. People trust brands and companies more than they trust just an individual selling a service. So I was like, all right, let's do it. So I got with I'm a doer, so I went out there and I did it. So I got with my now two business partners, and we sat at their dining table one, like Sunday afternoon or something for 4 or 5 hours. And we came up with a company name. We came up with business cards, a website, and hey, this is what we're going to do. And we started on Motion Arts on the spot that day. And I was back beginning of 2015, late 2014, while we were still college students, right? So first insight on the Ordinary Clients Incredible Insights podcast is that you don't have a business until you have someone to pay you for what you do or what you made. So a lot of people ask me, hey, how did you guys get started, or how can I start my own business? The first thing you got to do is to get someone to pay you for what you do or what you made, right? And the easiest way and the best way to do it, because it's not necessarily easy, but the best way and most favorable way to do that is to go after low-hanging fruit. What do I mean by low-hanging fruit? Go after those people who know you based upon your personal credibility, right? So you may not have a portfolio of work yet to gain clients based upon the work that you've done. But if it's a colleague or someone you went to school with, or, someone that's a referral of a friend, they will trust you based upon your personal credibility when you don't yet have that portfolio of work to show, and they'll hire you based upon the person you are. So start with that low hanging fruit when you're just getting started. Another thing that we did that was really helpful when we first got started with AUME was that we found one door that opened many doors, right? So what do I mean by that? Here comes another insight, guys. You can go and get client after client after client after client, or you can get a client that can solicit you to other clients. And so one of the things that we did when we first got started with AUME was one of our clients was a networking group. And that networking group became a huge fan of ours, a raving fan of ours. And they went on to solicit our services for us, right? And to promote us for free. And by having them promote us for free, we opened that one door, which was that networking group. But then that networking group opened up so many more doors. As we started to mature and get in our maturation process for our business, we realized that there was a lot of marketers out there, a lot of people who were doing Facebook ads, Google ads, and had a lot of clients in their Rolodex. For example, we had someone who had a funnel of roofing clients or of dental clients. So instead of going through and finding these dental clients individually, we find one marketer who is doing dental Facebook ads and dental marketing. We got them as a client, right? And then we were able to then do projects for all of their clients. So we found one door that opened many doors, and it's a very efficient way to build up your clientele and also to have a working relationship with those marketers, because they're going to be going out there and getting clients, and then those marketers were needing content to produce for their clients as well. So find one door that opens many doors. The next thing that I think was helpful, and after we started our business, all right, so we got some clients, the next part of that question was, how did we increase our revenue? I think you got to reverse engineer it, right? So what do I mean by reverse engineer? You got to start with the end goal in mind. I believe that you can't get better at what you don't track. So you have to know where you want to go and where you're starting from. So what reverse engineering I told my business partners, I was like, hey guys, I need to make $1,000 a month, right? So a little college student, had to go college apartment rent, little bills here and there, gas, food, sneakers, whatever, right? Bills, sneakers, important. But yeah, you got to reverse engineer. So I was like, hey, I need to make $1,000 a month. They were like, yeah, we need to make $1,000 a month too. And so the three of us each won $1,000 a month. So, hey, we had to get $3,000 a month. That's how we were going to have a thriving business. So from there, we can re-engineer it. We can be analytical and strategic about the amount of videos that we need. So if you're making $500 per video, well, now you know you need 6 videos, right, to get to that $3,000 mark, right? And that's my biggest advice. You got to know what you want to make, where you're coming from, and that way you can break it down from there. And so we end up making, less than $3,000 those first couple months, but soon we're able to get into the swing of things, get some new clients, and we end up getting that $3,000 a month. And one more thing just to add to the low-hanging fruit. So when I spoke about low-hanging fruit the first time, I was referring to, those who are in your immediate network, colleagues, friends, classmates, things of that nature. But another thing that I found out that was really helpful when starting my company was finding potential clients who had commonalities. So I spent a lot of money and a lot of time and got a lot of gigs off of Thumbtack.com, which if you've never heard of, it's kind of like an Angie's List where people will go on there trying to find people who help them with services. So, landscaping or house painting or whatever, but you could also go on there for creative services like a Fiverr and things like that. And on Thumbtack, people would put in their description where they were located or a little bit of information about their project. So the first project that I ever got off of Thumbtack, I'm a Thumbtack top pro now and been invited to their conferences in San Francisco, and we've done a lot of work and got a lot of work off of Thumbtack. The first gig that we got on Thumbtack, I believe we got that gig because it was commonalities between myself and the client that we worked for. So I went to school in a little city called Denton, about 35 miles, not really little anymore, but it's about 35 miles north of Dallas. And the lady was in Denton, and she was an alum of the same university that I was attending. So when I sent that first message, I was like, hey, I'm up in Denton here too. I'm maybe 10 to 15 minutes away from you. I see that you did music. She was a choir director. I said, I see that you do music and you graduated from UNT. I'm at UNT too. And so just having those commonalities, and I can't tell you how many clients we have procured because of commonalities, whether that's university, whether that's, hey, we're in North Texas now, but the client was from Houston. You see a similar area coding, the phone number or a sports team. Find common ground and a commonality, because it's going to instantly bring down some barriers that may be there in the sales process and make the potential client more comfortable. So that's what it is. Low-hanging fruit. Find one door that can open many doors and reverse engineer it. Know what you need at the end from the beginning. All right. So another question that I was asked on this panel was about kind of my transition from doing music videos to corporate work. So here's what the question read. Your portfolio features a mix of corporate productions, music videos, and finally more traditional narrative film. The kind of materials that are screened at South by Southwest and things like that. So It said, you started in music videos. Talk to us about this transition. How did you go about expanding your portfolio to go from music videos to corporate work? So I started in music videos like a lot of videographers do. My brother was a musician. He was a rapper. And so I started filming his music videos. And I think a really important insight is that if you find something that you enjoy doing that's, kind of a hobby or a simple pastime, if you then see that there's a demand for it, consider monetizing it. So I was doing these music videos because they were fun and I wanted to hang out with my big brother and so on and so forth. But then his friends were like, hey, who did your video? My little 16-year-old brother did it. And my brother even saw like, hey, I was really putting the time into it, that he was doing music videos too for other people. And he was bringing me along because, hey, like, you're good at this and we can monetize this. So us together figured like, oh, this could be something that we can make some money off of. And so if, like I said, if you have a hobby or something that you like doing and there's a potential demand for it, see if people are willing to pay you for it. It could become a passion really quick. Scott Trench, who was a younger author, has a quote, and I'm going to paraphrase it a little bit here, that says, any man will learn to love something that they become good at and paid handsomely for. So with music videos, it wasn't that I was born to work a camera, right? It was something I got good at. I got good at it because I liked it. And then once you get good at it, people will pay you good for it. And once they start paying you good for it, it becomes a passion. I'm passionate about video and film and photography and things now. But like I said, I didn't come out the womb that way. It's not like I'm a basketball player and I came out the womb and I was 7 feet tall. It was, I got good at something. People paid me for it and it became a passion. So if you found a hobby or something that you like to do, consider monetizing it. Talking about this transition from music videos to the corporate work, I think the first thing was music videos really didn't fit my personality style, right? I'm an early bird and filming inside of clubs late at night or just filming nighttime scenes in a studio. That was not my thing. The music industry is a very, I would consider a nighttime industry, whether, like I said, that's filming inside a club or studio sessions don't start at 7 p.m. Man, I'm trying to go sleep at 9:30, 10 o'clock. It just didn't go well with the music video industry. So I would advise anybody, when considering your path or your niche within your path, align yourself things that align with your values and kind of your internal workings, right? Another thing that I noticed was I'm very rigid in my delivery of products and invoices and contracts and everything like that. I was always businessman-like in that aspect. And as I said, the music industry of creatives, they can be rigid as well, but they were a little bit more laissez-faire, more creative in that process. And I was like, it's not really the thing for me. So once I did my first corporate gig, I did a video for Michael Autry, who's an attorney here in Dallas, who was he's a huge attorney now, but 7-8 years ago he was a little more modest. I found him on Craigslist, and we did a video for him, and just that entire process of going into an office and dressing up, talking to him, it just fit who I was as a person more. And so I aligned with it, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe this corporate stuff is the way I want to go, as opposed to maybe the music video route and things of that nature. And what really helped me in that transition was taking some of those elements, those creative elements, that is, from the music video industry and bringing it to the corporate world. If you have a competency in one area, instead of getting rid of it or making it dormant when you move to another area, see if that can help you separate yourself from others in the new area that you're moving to. So with music videos, they're edgy, right? They're super creative, a lot of colors, fast moving, energetic, and corporate videos are not that. They're kind of stuffy and stale. And so I was able to bring a fresh, new, energetic, edgy feel to those corporate videos, and those corporate clients loved it. They were like, oh, okay, this is fresh, this is new, and our company name is AUME, which means resistance, and our tagline was resisting creative norms, one video at a time. So we really took that to heart, that hey, we want to switch it up. We want to do things different in this corporate arena. And even if you look at our corporate videos now, 7-8 years later, they still have a music video flair, whether it's the music selection that we pick, whether that's the quickness in which we cut the scenes, or our camera angles and movements and things of that nature. So if you have an expertise, a competency, or a creative style in one area, don't be afraid to see if that transitions, and you can sprinkle a little bit of that into whatever new endeavors that you're working on. So the next question that they had was, you're a Houston native, but spent a good deal of time in North Texas going to school there. How did you get clients in both cities? And, why did you think that was a necessity? So for me, it's the entrepreneurial kind of mindset that you eat what you kill. Right. So it's not a 9 to 5, and nothing wrong with 9 to 5s, but it's not a 9 to 5 where you can go and rest on your laurels for a day or two and still get the same amount of paycheck at the end of the 2 weeks. Entrepreneurship didn't work that way. If you don't go out there and procure new clients or do the work that those clients ask you to do, you don't have the same paycheck at the end of the week. And vice versa. If you go out there and procure more clients and make more sales and do more work that week, your paycheck will look different at the end of that week. That's just the way entrepreneurship works. And so how did I gain clients in a new city? Was I took that same approach. Not only do you eat what you kill, you have to eat where you're at. And so having clients in Houston and living in Dallas, it wasn't conducive to having a good net on your money, because you're driving down there and you're using 8-hour round trip and gas and all that stuff to go down there and do videos that I needed to expand my horizon. So how did I make that transition? I think it was more of a mindset thing. Was like, hey, I had clients down there. I could go get a regular 9 to 5 up here while I'm in college, or do something different, or I can put boots to the ground, go to some networking events, get online, start marketing in this area, reach out to different people. And that's what I did back then. And I thank my 19, 20-year-old self all the time for being so assertive and having so much grit and determination to go out there and get those clients. So yeah, it's not only about you eat what you kill, but you also have to eat where you're at. So the last question they had up here on that panel was, you made it a point to invest in the professional development of younger men and women. How important is it to create a show reel for landing corporate work when you're just starting out? That's part one of the question. Part two is, what is a general component that you could add to anyone's reel to improve their marketability? So the first part of that question, how important is a show reel to landing corporate work when you're first starting? I think it's the most important thing. Whether it's a pretty fact or not, implicit bias exists, ageism exists, sexism exists. And so to overcome those setbacks or those biases, your reel stands in the gap, in my opinion, because your reel shows who you are before you even walk through the door, and it makes you indispensable, right? So not only could it help you overcome some implicit bias or some ageism, which I believe I faced both of those as a black man, 19, 20, 21 years old, trying to get these corporate gigs. And when it came to ageism, like, I understand, right? You have a huge brand and a huge company who has been building this brand and this company longer than I've been alive. And now I'm asking you to hand the keys over to me with some of your marketing collateral. Like, what? That's crazy. So I understood why the ageism was a thing, right? And sometimes they kind of scratch their head like, man, you're kind of young. Like, what's your experience look like? But once they saw the portfolio and saw what my team and I could do, all of that was washed away. Your work spoke for you, right? And not only does your work speak for you, it makes you indispensable. And what do I mean by that? Especially in the corporate world, there's a lot of code switching. The way that I may talk to my peers, the way I may talk to my family, the way I even talk to my business partner in internal meetings is sometimes different than the way I'll talk to my corporate clients. But when you have that show reel, when you have that portfolio of work, it allows you to be more of your authentic self, and you don't have to code switch as much because you become indispensable, right? Those clients know the work that you do, and once you do work for clients, you become a part of their infrastructure, their system, and what they're looking to accomplish, and you're a vital part of that system, right? So whether you may dress a little different, talk a little different, have different political views, it's less important because you're indispensable. You're a part of their system, and what you offer them is valuable, right? So I think that show reel is completely probably the most important thing when it comes to first starting out, whether that's a proof of concept with a product or whether that's having a portfolio of work as a creative or as a service provider. The last part of that question was, what's one general component that could be added to anyone's reel to improve their marketability? They were maybe speaking in the sense of the actual portfolio. But I think the one thing that can help anyone improve their marketability is their ability to sell themselves. I believe it was Gary Vee that said, you've never heard of a best author. We've only heard of best-selling author, because it's the selling part that's important. it doesn't matter how great your reel is sometimes. If you're not able to sell it and make the client understand how you can help them, then it could be done in vain. And when it comes to selling, I think the most important part about selling is to have a good mouthpiece, to be able to speak well, to be comfortable speaking at tables that people sitting at them may not look like you, or they may be of a different age, of a different gender, right? And so the only way to overcome some of that insecurity of sitting at those tables, of selling yourself, or of just being able to speak up and articulate yourself properly, is to get good at it. So whether that's reading books, watching podcasts, or just talking to people, improve your interpersonal communication skills, improve your vernacular, and I believe that will help you be able to sell yourself, which will improve your marketability for your business or for your creative passions, or whatever endeavors you're tackling in life. So that's my insight, right? Improve your selling to improve your marketability. That's all the questions that we had, and so I'm hoping I was able to provide some incredible insights, even though I'm not the client. But on this first episode, I just wanted to give you a little bit of background about why I was doing this and what my goals were, and hopefully provide some insights for people to use and help reach their full potential and grow their businesses. My why in life is to help young minorities reach professional and financial success sooner. So any way I can do that, whether that's me providing any insights that I've gained, or me talking to others to give the insight that they've gained, or me being all ears to hear the insights of clients that I can then share and pass forward, I'm all for it and all for helping people gain that professional and financial success sooner. So I thank you for tuning in to this first podcast episode, hoping to do many more and hoping you'll stick around to hear some incredible insights from some awesome clients. So thank you guys again, and see you soon.